Hi everyone. In this short video, I'm going to explain you how to use the case instruction in the structured text programming of the PSYs. Similar to the case instruction in all other programming languages, you check for the value of a given variable, and depending on the value that that variable has, you do something. Yeah. So for example, here in the syntax, we are checking the value for the var1, and if the value is equal to value 1, the instruction 1 will be executed. If the value is equal to value 2, instruction 2 will be executed. If any of these value 3, 4, or 5 are the case, then the instruction 3 will be executed. If the values between value 6 and 10 are happening, then instruction 4 will be executed, and so on and so forth. And at the end, if none of them are the case, then the else instruction will be executed. So and here we have some a simple example in which the value for int1 is being checked. If it has the value of 1 or 5, then the boolean 1 will be true and bool 3 will be false. If the value is equal to 2, bool 2 will be false, bool 3 will be true, and so on and so forth. Here I will show you how to do it in the codices by a given example. So here I have one limit switch and one lamp, pilot lamp, and the reset push button. And I want to have the pilot lamp being turned on for 5 seconds, then turned off for 5 seconds, then turned on for 4 seconds, turned off for 4 seconds, turned on for 1 second, and turned off for 1 second. So it will be kind of sequence, and I want this to be repeated continuously, and the process will start whenever I change the state of the ls1 from false to true. And at each point I can reset the counter, and the sequence will go to the beginning and start over from there. So to implement it, here I have declared the variables that I need. ls1, which is a boolean variable. Full will be an intermediate variable. I will explain it later. Reset is used to reset the counter, and I'm using two on-delay timers to create the 1 second intervals. Let's say that's give me kind of timing. Then I have one counting up counter and the preset value of the counter, which I have set to 20 because the whole sequence will be of 20 seconds. And then the PL, which is the pilot lamp, has the output pilot lamp here, and it will be turned on or off depending on the value of the time. And here in the program, I have started by interconnecting the timer 01 and timer 02 to each other. For timer 01, you can see here that the input comes from the limit switch 1 and the negated output of the timer 02. And I have used the and not in order to combine them with each other. And the preset time for the first timer is 500 milliseconds. For the second timer, the input comes from the output of the first timer, and the preset time is equal to 500 milliseconds as well. So in total, as the output of the first timer, I will have pulses of 1 second width. So this can be used as the timing for me. Then in the upcounting counter, the input of the counter comes from the second timer's output. Then the reset comes from either the pressing the reset push button, or whenever the counter is done with the counting, so the preset value is equal to the current value, which is 20. The preset value is 20, and then the preset value is set here as the initial value of 20, but it can be changed later if you wish. So here this will be done at the end of the 1 second. So whenever 1 second is passed, the value of the counter will be increased by 1. And here you can see how to use the case instruction. In the case instruction, we'll have this case of, else, and end case would be the syntax which is used. Then here after case, you need to provide the variable that you are checking. here I have counter 01.current value. Afterwards, I need to I want to have the pilot lamp turned on for the values of time from 0 to 5, let's say. So from 1 to 5, I will have 5 seconds of the pilot lamp turned on. So here for the counter current value of the counter, I will check for the values of 0 up to 4 because this gives me 5 seconds. And if it's the case, I will turn on the full, let's say I will set the true value for the full variable, and at the end of full and the limit switch will turn on the pilot lamp. Then in the second case, I'm checking for the values of between 5 and 9. If it's the case, the full will become false. For the current value of the counter, from 10 to 13, the full will be true. From 14 to 17, it will become false. For 18, it will become true. And then for the last part, which is 19, obviously, it will become false. So in this way, I will have the full variable turning true and false as the sequence that I explained at the beginning. So 5 seconds true, 5 seconds false, then 4 seconds true, 4 seconds false, 1 second true, and 1 second false, and then it will be repeated because the counter will be resetted by itself. And here at the last line of the code, I'm putting full and limit switch 1 in and assigning the value to the pilot lamp. So let's log in and run the code, and you will see how does it work. I reset at the beginning, so let's assume that the limit switch 1 is false. I reset the counter, and now as soon as I switch the limit switch from false to true, the pilot lamp will become turned on. It will remain 5 seconds turned on, then 5 seconds it will be turned off. And you can see the value here as well. Then 4 seconds turned on, 4 seconds it will be turned off, 1 second on, 1 second off, and then the process will repeat. Here the current value of the counter is an indication of the time in seconds. 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on and so forth seconds. Okay, so that's all for this video. I hope by following this video you will learn how to use the case instruction in the structured text programming for the PLCs. That's all. Thanks a lot for watching. Okay.